Dude, Alterego here, and welcome to Dude. And Dude, people in America, they're making absolutely no sense or something, man. I'm telling you, 0 cents from some of these people in America. I mean, I might be a stupid airhead that doesn't know jack. Hold on here a minute. Really, dude? I asked you to write a good script for me because I couldn't think of things to talk about, and really, dude. I mean, so now what am I going to talk about? Oh, I know. That J. Patrick Morgan, he's a complete dickhead or something. And I'm about to kick his ass so hard that the next coronavirus test that he takes tests positive for Walmart sneakers. And incidentally, rumor has it that all these cockroaches that I've been stepping on around here, they can cause you to have a false positive for coronavirus. So, he really seriously pissed me off, so hold on here. Alright, come on, cockroach. Well, that was funny for a minute, anyways, and so it's J. Patrick Morgan, the wise man say dude, and we're going to get serious with the real apolitical news. I announced that we're going to do a little bit concerning the Russia-Ukraine thing going on. And really, the narrative here is that Russia, on their side of the border there, have been building up some troops and stuff. Putin declares that just training exercises and stuff, but it just looks a little bit suspicious to us concerning the tensions between the two countries. But, it doesn't mean we're at war yet, even though the United States has said that they will be sending some wartime equipment and assistance to Ukraine, which wouldn't do much good. Russia could still pound them no matter how much we send over there to Ukraine. So that's really, and they've been an isolationist country, so economic sanctions is not much of a threat either. Russia has been, with the exception of some oil pipelines and different things of that nature, it has been pretty self-reliant country with organic farms set up to feed their people and stuff. You're not going to stress them very much economically. So that's kind of a nothing burger as well. The other thing that you can look at is Iran. We have several U.S. military bases on all sides of the border of Iran. But, does that mean that we're starting a war with Iran? I wouldn't really think so. I mean, you could interpret it like that, but so yeah, and Iran could interpret it like the United States is starting a war with Iran because we have our military bases close to their border and like that. So it's more or less a pissing match. It's not really a war yet. It could turn into a war, but I really don't see much happening there other than continuous pissing matches. And it's a distraction from several other things going on in the world as well. When they do those kind of things and put all the focus on one thing, they're really taking your focus off from several other things. So I'm just going to, keep listening and watching and seeing what's being said and seeing what facts can be verified versus what's being said. And we'll give you some more on that eventually if there happens to come along some more concerning that. And Omicron, Omicron, Omicron. Everything is all Omicron, Omicron, Omicron. They're saying that they're not really giving us the source information for the unvaccinated being the majority that are being hospitalized and have it bad and stuff like that. They're just saying that the majority is unvaccinated. And they're also keeping very quiet the extreme spike in myocarditis cases, hospitalizations, and deaths since the very first launch of the coronavirus vaccine. They put absolutely no focus on the fact that myocarditis between age 12 and 30 was almost none before the release of the vaccine, and now it's jumped up into the thousands since the release of the vaccine. And let's just face it, even with the obesity thing being a thing in younger and younger people, heart attacks and myocarditis and clotting disorders and things like that are just about nil void in the younger generation. That's something that develops later, even with the excessive fast food and fake foods and so on and so forth. Heart disease in general is something that builds up over time. Over a couple of decades. You don't start having heart attacks at 12 years old or 18 years old or anything like that, even if you do happen to have 60 or 80 extra pounds versus your height. And so they're hushing that and not giving us the source information of how they know which ones are unvaxxed or vaxxed as far as severe hospitalizations or deaths concerning Omicron. So it's all just more of a push for the vaccine. As usual, they're saying nothing about the nutrition factors that help reduce your chances of having a serious case of Omicron. They're still shutting down the fact that ivermectin has also been a very effective antiviral and not just an antiparasitical. So we'll just keep watching. I'm waiting for the source information that they're holding back concerning the demographics of who has it most severe and where they have it most severe, age ranges, what the different other health factors of these people are. Because of course, if you say that a bunch of overweight people have it worse than non-overweight people, that's going to be fat shaming, and so it's a hurry up and wait on me getting the demographics, and I analyze statistics very quickly, and get all kinds of information out of it, even information they don't intend to give me. So they're actually going to hate it if I do get some paperwork or some sites or anything based on where their source information is, their collection of this, the data, the protocols behind that, and so on, because all of that makes a huge difference, whether it's political, whether it's medical, whether it's other kind of safety things like cars, and their braking systems, or how bad you can be injured in specific types of cars and trucks and accidents. All of that, the source information, the protocols for collecting the data, what they consider is not worth it and throw in the trash can, is usually stuff they don't want statistics to say when they get ready to report it to the public. And I know what I'm talking about in the areas of statistics, and the mathematics behind all of this. So we'll get you more information when we can get the information. It takes a while to fact check. It takes a while to call up different consultants to answer questions that help us in areas that we're not the experts in. Like, for example, I don't have a medical degree. I would have to talk to biochemists and general practitioners and pediatricians and so on and so forth to help them, you have them help me with some of that before I make any determinations on statistics. So we're just about at 10 minutes here. This is J. Patrick Morgan with Real Apolitical News. You're going to have the song Artist License coming up next, and I'm killing it here. And we're back here, J. Patrick Morgan, end of days discussion segment of this upload. And as announced, I did say that we're going to talk about, and the truth will be restored to the earth. That's when Jesus returns. Which pretty much says truth's not really here, but there's a thin line with that. The Bible is the truth. Those that get the idea that it contradicts itself over and over really are doing a misinterpretation thing, because if it's interpreted properly, it doesn't contradict itself. And so we're going to back to beat a dead horse of understanding statistics analysis, because interpretation is what statistics analysis is all about. Interpretation is what the Bible is all about. The reason it says that the truth needs to be restored to the earth is not that the truth is not really here. It's twisted, it's misinterpreted, it's mistranslated in some cases, and it causes a lot of confusion, and some of that confusion is deliberate by the Jesuit class people. They like to insert themselves in denominational doctrine. And there's also this thing that the news tries to do to get you to focus on, hyper-focus on certain current events over and over and over, or they're only reporting the events that have to do with this thing that has to do with their narrative for that thing as well. They would centralize the specific Bible verses over and over and over again. This is why really whole Bible churches are the key to better understanding the Bible. So some sections of the Bible you're not going to understand correctly without knowing the other sections of the Bible that many denominations don't put any focus upon whatsoever. They're just left out. You have your popular Old Testament stories. Well, the popular Old Testament stories is all well and good, and keeps people's interest because they're exciting and interesting and so on. But there's whole segments of the Old Testament that's not popular Bible stories that are very, very, very important in your understanding of God's Word in general. So leaving a lot of parts out just because they don't seem to be as interesting and popular to people as others is doing a big injustice as far as understanding, especially end times prophecy. So the truth being restored to the earth is more of you've had these interpretations and translations wrong from the beginning, so you can take pieces of truth and put them in certain perspectives and use them in certain contexts, then all of a sudden it's only a half-truth. And in some cases it is used to generate outright lies. And that's what Revelations refers to as the truth restored to the earth. Another thing that would back that up would be, and my people perish for their lack of knowledge. You don't know, so you're dying without salvation because you don't know. You're dying early because you don't know. You know, people in the Lord can live a very, very, very long life because they know, or they can die early because they don't know. So it's a big mishy-mashy, wishy-washy thing between denominations, and these denominations will debate back and forth until they're blue in the face, according to the interpretations they were taught through their specific Bible colleges and denominations, and whether it be Catholic or Baptist or Wesleyan or Presbyterian or Lutheran, Orthodox. You have Greek Orthodox or Eastern Orthodox, so on and so forth. You know, they'll all be in endless debates about this is not biblical and this is not and this is. All of the New Testament is the truth. Certainly they pound on certain ones more than others in a way that is going to confuse you. And they do a lot of pushing for people as they become Christian to become more judgmental and looking down on other people, which is going to drive persons away from coming to Christianity instead of bringing them to it. You start nitpicking at everything somebody does and see. Some of them will just follow along, but most of them, they're just gonna, you're just nitpicking. Nothing's gonna make you happy, and they're gonna walk away. And so there's no fruits there, is there? Okay, the other thing that I brought to attention concerning this episode is one truth that most biblical historians or in-depth Bible studiers do know, especially if they've also paid attention to the history of sciences in the secular side of things, that a lot of people don't know. And why they don't know it is because in the Western world, you've had capitalism beat down in your head to where you're just going to say, well, this is socialism, that's socialism. That, socialism never works. Socialism never works because the governments that call themselves socialist say that everybody's going to have everything you need in equal amounts and so on and so forth, but the governments themselves and the entities running it end up hoarding most of it and leaving nothing left for the general population. Socialism in religion, spiritualism, works. It does work. So here's the truth that all of you, or many of you, are going to hate. That's a truth that needs to be restored to the earth. And here goes. Every single person on every continent, in every nation, everywhere, across the four corners of the world, every single person can have everything that they need. Not what they want, like a Maserati or, frivolous things, expensive jewelry, material things as per se. Everything they need. Everything. For free. For absolutely free. It's a matter of, you work for it, so technically it's not for free, but I mean, it's a matter for no money, for zero cash, for zero money. Every person across the four corners of the world can have everything that they need, not what they want, what they need, free. Free electricity, free food, free shelter, heat in the winter, cooling in the summer. All of it, every bit of it, can be free. The way to make it free has been suppressed by society because the billionaires want all the money and they want poor people to have nothing. But every single person, corner to corner to corner to corner across the world, is able to eat, have shelter, clothing, everything that they need. No money, no cash, no nothing. Free, free, free. You can call it socialism all you want, but it's in a spiritual side of things, that's not socialism. It's just a fact. They hide the things that you can have for free so that you keep spending money, which is really worth nothing but the paper that's on the money. So that's the truth restored to the earth, part 1, and you're going to have a part 2 next week. This is J. Patrick Morgan with End of Days Discussion, and I'm killing it here.
Yeah, dear, Temple Rick from Wise Men Say. And I'm going to teach you a few things, dear, about the difference in the language between American and British. American, we have Constitution, the Bill of Rights, dear. The Bill of Rights, those are to retain what is ours, to keep what we have. The British, they have a constitution per se, but there's no difference in the law. See, when you become a lawyer, then you have to get a bar license. What does a bar license stand for? Bar license. British acquisition rules. Yes, so the law that makes you a judge, a lawyer, We ain't changed nothing from when we lived across the pond. Nothing. The law is British acquisition rules. The British rule still. The only thing the Constitution does is tell us we have rights. The bar tells them how to take them away from us. Yeah. In another timeline, there was no money. Therefore, everybody in America spoke Swedish instead of English. Because the English invented money to exploit. The reason money is there is to exploit. And the British were exploiters. When there's no money, Sweden owns America. Think about it, yeah. Think about that. No exploitation, because no money. The British got no reason to exploit every continent in the world. British ain't nothing. Ain't nothing. So America is owned by Buddhists and Gandhi followers, Confucianists, and Swedes, and docile people. And they don't speak English, because nobody needs to exploit when there's no money. Think about it. Yeah, it's Temporal Rick from Wise Man Say, and I'm talking about the void there. The void.
Well, that was a bit of a jumbled mess from Temporal Rick, but in the future episode somewhere, we will be having some discussions about the English in the Vatican and how that's affected the world over a few hundred years, and about the British acquisition rules, Bar Association, as they would talk about with lawyers and judges and so on, district attorneys. Yeah, it does stand for British acquisition rules, and we'll discuss the Masonic language of the court systems in one of these episodes in the future. I got to consult with some experts on that sort of thing a little bit before I put it together and relay it to you in an understandable way. Yeah, Masonic language. It's like a trickery in wording to exploit everything that can possibly be exploited out of you through laws and torts and things. So yeah, interesting little subject we'll get on sometime, but this is not that part of the upload. This is the music piece that I mentioned, Artist License off from the Isle of Shadows, Defining the Underground CD from 2005. You can find the electric version of this. I believe it would still be on ourstage.com under J. Patrick Morgan. And sometime I'll tell you a little story about the Defining the Underground CD and the music that was on it and so on. But right now I'm just going to play you the first track off from that CD. This is called Artist License, and it starts out with a little narration like this. I see you hold the song in pen, powerful tool. Question is, how do you intend to use it? When the time comes to make a stand, you will use it to face your fears. I will use my artist license to create the next joke. Don't need to renew it, and it cannot be revoked. I will flash my artist license, I will paint it on the wall, and I'm gonna make a statement, I'm the one with all the balls. I'll be blaring on your stereos and crashing on black t-shirts right across your TV screen and streaming down your internet. I will use my artist license to create the next joke. I don't need to redo it, and it cannot be revoked. I will flash my artist license, I will paint it on the wall, and I'm gonna make a statement, I'm the one with all the balls. I'll be painting signs, writing lines, and carving shapes, naughty pines, flashing lights to hit the stage, to keep the artist in a cage. Another generation brings it back around from the underground. Okay, so that's where we're ending this right here as the music performance artist license. And next few days here, we'll give you an update on what's coming up on next week's Real Apolitical News and End of Days discussion. Bye, y'all.